Midvale Stories presents The Man Who Knew Her Name. The text arrived at 11:43 p.m. Unknown number. The blue box goes in the bedroom, not the kitchen. Ara froze. Standing in the middle of her new apartment, boxes everywhere. Exhausted from the flight, holding in both hands. A blue box. She looked at it, looked at the message, looked at the windows. 14th floor, no buildings close enough, no line of sight from street level. Her hands weren't entirely steady when she typed back. Who is this? 3 dots. Appearing, disappearing. Someone who's glad you finally arrived. Finally. Not glad you arrived. Glad you finally arrived. Like he'd been waiting. Like her arrival had been a long time coming. She should have called the police. Should have left. Instead, she stood at the window and looked out at a city she didn't know yet, and felt watched, not threatened. Watched. Like she was something worth paying attention to. That feeling would save her later, and cost her everything first. Across the city, in a building that didn't appear on any public registry, a man with deep brown eyes sat in a room full of things that had survived centuries. He looked at his phone, at her reply, and felt something shift in his chest that he hadn't felt in a very long time. Something that felt dangerously like relief. Ara Shin had come to Seoul for work, a research position at the Mirai Cultural Institute, competitive, prestigious, quietly funded. She was 27, sharp. The kind of person who noticed things other people filed under coincidence. She'd noticed her apartment was too good, fully furnished, perfect neighborhood, Han River view. Her favorite books on the shelf, not random titles, specifically hers. Editions she owned back home. Her preferred coffee brand in the kitchen. The exact pillow density she'd mentioned in a survey she'd filled out for the Institute 6 months ago. She'd told herself, thorough HR department. The texts didn't stop. New number each time she blocked one. Never threatening, never inappropriate. Just present. The cafe on your corner closes at 10, not 11. Your building's heating takes 40 minutes. Turn it on before you need it. You haven't eaten since the airport. There's a 24-hour place 2 streets left. She started eating. Started turning the heating on early. Hated herself for adapting to being watched. Hated more that whoever was watching seemed to actually care if she was warm. On day 9, she didn't get a text. She waited for it without realizing she was waiting, then caught herself waiting, and sat with that for a long time. What it meant that the silence felt louder than the messages. The Mirai Cultural Institute occupied the top 3 floors of the building. Ara worked on the 38th. The 40th floor required separate clearance. She'd asked about it week 1. Archives, her colleague Jinnah said. Restricted. To whom? To everyone currently employed here. Ara had noted that careful phrasing, currently employed. Week 3, she stayed late. Waited until Jinnah left. Until the last researcher gathered their things. Then took the elevator to the 40th floor. The keypad should have stopped her. It didn't. Her regular clearance code worked, which meant someone had given her access without telling her. She stepped out. The room was not what she expected. Not manuscripts behind glass, not institutional shelving. A room that looked lived in, curated, personal. Art on the walls, not copies, originals, and in the center of the main table, a file with her name on it. Not her research file, something older. She opened it with hands that felt very far away. Inside, documents, going back years, not months. Scholarship recommendations, academic conference invitations, research grant approvals. All from institutions she'd applied to independently, all approved by reviewers she'd never met, all connected, when she looked at the funding trails, to the same source, The same family name from the manuscript, her entire academic career. Every opportunity she'd thought she'd earned herself had been quietly shaped. She photographed every page, walked back to the elevator, texted one line, "We need to talk. Tonight. I'll choose the location." His reply was immediate, yes. She chose a public cafe she'd found herself. No help from texts, no recommendations, just a place she'd walked past and liked. Because suddenly, every small act of independence felt important. Suddenly, she needed to know which parts of her life were still entirely hers. She was already seated when he arrived. She'd wondered sometimes what he looked like in ordinary light. In the lobby, he'd been backlit. On the rooftop, night and city glow. Here, a cafe in Mapogu at 9 p.m., warm light, ordinary tables. He was still the most unsettling thing she'd ever seen. Not because he was beautiful, because he moved through an ordinary space like he was accommodating it rather than belonging to it. Like the cafe had adjusted itself slightly when he walked in. He sat across from her. She put her phone on the table, the photographs of the documents facing up. He looked at them. His expression didn't change. That was its own answer. "How long?" she said. "Ara, how long before you found my application photograph?" He was quiet for a moment. 6 years. The cafe noise continued around them. Indifferent. Normal. 6 years. Her voice was steady. She'd decided before she came that she would be steady. My PhD scholarship. The one that changed everything. That let me specialize in exactly the field that would qualify me for this position. Yes. You arranged it. I ensured it was considered fairly. Your work? Don't. She leaned forward. Don't tell me my work earned it. I need to know if I would have gotten there without you. He held her gaze and said nothing, because the honest answer was, he didn't know. And they both understood what that silence meant. So, she sat back. My career, my specialty, my reason for being in Seoul. All of it exists in a shape you had a hand in building. She looked at the table. Is there anything in my life you haven't touched? Your relationships? Your friendships? The way you think? The way you... He stopped. The person you are. I arranged opportunities. I didn't arrange you. That distinction might matter more to you than it does to me right now. He was quiet. I know. Say something that isn't, I know. I can't. His voice was low, rough. Because everything I could say sounds like justification, and you don't deserve justification. You deserve... He stopped. What? The truth. Which is that I found your name in a database 6 years ago, connected to a family I'd been watching for generational research. And then I found your photograph. And He looked at his hands. I made decisions I had no right to make, because I was afraid that if the path didn't lead you here, I would never what? Have the chance to be chosen, instead of just encountered. She sat with that for a long time, the cafe, the ordinary light. This ancient man who had quietly shaped 6 years of her life because he was terrified she'd never arrive. And she thought, the most honest thing about this is that he's not pretending it was okay. He's not building a case. He's just handing her the worst version of himself and waiting to see what she does with it. She didn't leave, didn't storm out, sat with it, with him. For an hour she asked questions and he answered them, and she watched his face while he answered, the way certain questions made something move behind his eyes, the way he held completely still when he was being honest about something painful. At some point, her coffee went cold. He noticed before she did, called the server, ordered her another without asking, then seemed to realize what he'd done, looked at her. Sorry. Old habit. Of ordering for people without asking, of knowing what someone needs before they say it. He looked at the fresh coffee arriving. I can tell them to take it back. She wrapped her hands around the cup. Warm, perfect temperature, exactly how she liked it. No, she said quietly. They sat in silence. Outside, October rain had started. She looked at the window, at the street going dark and wet. I have to walk home, she said. I didn't bring an umbrella. I have one. Of course you do. He almost smiled. They walked out together. He opened the umbrella, held it. The street was narrow enough that staying dry meant standing closer than they'd ever stood. She could feel the warmth of him, could see, up close for the first time, that his eyes weren't simply dark. They had depth that went somewhere she couldn't see the end of. You're staring, he said quietly, not unkind. I'm trying to understand you. Has it worked? No. Tell me when it does. They walked 3 blocks in the rain. At one point, the wind shifted and the umbrella went sideways, and cold rain hit her shoulder before he could correct it. His hand came to her waist, automatic, pulling her slightly closer under the umbrella's coverage. He became very still after, like he'd surprised himself. His hand stayed. She didn't move away. They walked the rest of the block like that. His hand warm at her waist, her shoulder almost against his arm. The rain loud around them and the city going about its business, and this small, unplanned, unperformed thing. At her building entrance, she stopped. He lowered the umbrella. They were close. The kind of close that happens between people who have been moving toward each other for weeks without admitting it. Ji-Heon. If I ask you to stop. The arranging? The shaping things around me without asking. Can you actually stop? He looked at her, the way he always looked at her, like she was worth being properly seen. I don't know, he said. I think I can. I haven't wanted to try before. He paused. I want to try now. That's not a promise. No, it's something better. What's better than a promise? An honest answer. His hand, without the umbrella now, had nowhere to go. He let it fall to his side. Most people promise things they can't control. I'm telling you what I actually know. She looked at him for a long moment, then did something she hadn't planned. She reached up, touched his jaw. Brief, warm, real. Just contact. Her hand and his face, and the rain. His eyes closed for a moment, like something he hadn't braced for, like something that cost him. She let her hand fall. Good night, Ji-Heon. Good night, Ara. She went inside. He stood on the wet street. For a long time. He leaned against her closed door in the hallway and thought, I just touched his face outside my building in the rain. And the terrifying part wasn't that she'd done it. The terrifying part was how natural it had felt. Like something her hand had been waiting to do for weeks without telling the rest of her. The next morning, Ara did something deliberate. She wrote up her research. Not the manuscript cataloging, the real research. Everything she'd found. The family history. The generational patterns. The documents from the restricted floor. The funding trails connecting her academic career to the same source. Formatted it as a journal submission. Sent it to her laptop. Saved it. Backed it up. Then texted him. I've written up everything. The family history. The funding connections. My own career documentation. It's formatted for academic publication. I'm not sending it. But it exists. A longer pause than usual. I see. I'm not threatening you. I'm telling you I'm not powerless in this. I never thought you were. Then stop acting like I need to be protected from information about my own life. I want full access to the restricted floor. I want the complete family record. And I want you to stop making decisions about what I'm ready to know. The 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. The floor is already accessible to you. It has been since you arrived. The documents about me specifically. A pause. Come to the Institute tonight. I'll show you everything. Everything? Everything I know, which is more than I've told you. And some of it is... He stopped typing, started again. Some of it will be difficult. I'll decide what I can handle. Yes, he typed. You will. She put her phone down and felt, not triumph, something more complicated, because she understood now that he'd always intended to show her eventually, that the slow reveal wasn't cruelty, it was fear. And fear, in someone like him, was somehow more dangerous than anything deliberate. The restricted floor at night. Just them. He showed her the complete family archive, 4 centuries of documentation. She worked through it systematically. He sat nearby and answered questions and didn't try to manage what she found. An hour in, she found the oldest documents about herself, not 6 years ago. Further, "This is my grandmother," she said. Yes, she's in the family record. She was a researcher also, connected to the collection in the 1970s. And her mother? Yes. Ara looked up. How far back does my family appear in your records? He was quiet. 4 generations. 4. She stopped. You've been watching my family for 4 generations. Watching is too active a word. Noting. Preserving. Your family has appeared near this collection repeatedly. I don't entirely understand why. I have theories. What theories? He moved to sit beside her. Close. Not touching, but close enough that she could feel his presence like a change in air pressure. I think some people are drawn to certain things across generations. History. Preservation. The idea that the past deserves to be recorded properly. He looked at the documents. Your family keeps appearing near things worth protecting. And then, you appeared near my family. Yes. And shaped my path toward this? Yes. Though I think... He paused. I think you would have arrived at something like this regardless. I may have only accelerated it. That's a very convenient theory. I know. She looked at the documents, at 4 generations of her family, at this man who had existed alongside them without their knowledge. Jihan. Do you ever get tired? Of what? Of continuing. 143 years of... She gestured at everything. Continuing. He was quiet for a long time. Before you arrived, he said finally, more than I admitted to myself. She looked at him. Really looked. At the exhaustion that lived underneath the composure, at what 143 years of alone actually looked like up close. Without thinking, she reached over, covered his hand with hers. He looked down at their hands. His breath shifted, almost imperceptible. You do that, he said quietly. Do what? Touch me before you decide to. He turned his hand slowly. Let their fingers settle together. Like your hands make decisions independently. I'm sorry. Don't apologize. His voice was very low. It's the only thing that feels entirely real. When you touch me without planning to. They sat like that for a moment. His hand warm under hers, the archive around them. 4 centuries of recorded history and 2 people trying to figure out what to do with the present. I'm angry, she said. I know, about the career, the shaping, all of it. Yes. And I'm also... She stopped. Also what? Here. Choosing to be here. With full information. She looked at their hands. Both things are true at the same time. I know. He turned to look at her. This close, his eyes were... She'd stopped trying to find the bottom of them. Ara. Yes. I'm going to spend a long time trying to be worthy of that. The choosing. I want you to know that. I know you will. How? Because you've been honest every time it made you look worse. She met his eyes. That's not nothing. He lifted their joined hands, pressed his mouth to her knuckles. Brief. Warm. Like something he'd been holding back for weeks and couldn't anymore. And she thought, there it is. The thing underneath all the surveillance and arrangement and century-old obsession. Just this. A man who didn't know how to reach for something without first making sure it was safe. Who was finally reaching. 3 weeks later, someone broke into her apartment. Not when she was home, but someone had been there. She could tell. The specific wrongness of a space that had been touched without permission. A drawer not quite closed. A book moved. Her research. The backed-up file. The journal submission. Gone from her laptop. She called him. Not texted. Called. He answered on the first ring. Someone was in my apartment. A pause that told her everything. Ji-hyun, did you take my research? No. Do you know who did? Another pause. I have a suspicion. Tell me, Ara. Tell me right now or I am walking out of this city tonight. I mean that. His voice when it came was flat, controlled, the underneath showing through. There are people who have been trying to access the family archive for years. They know you've been given access. They believe you've seen things that could help them. He paused. I've been managing them. I thought I had more time before they moved. You knew this was coming. I knew it was possible. And you didn't tell me. No. Why? Because I didn't want you to leave. The honesty of it stopped her. No justification, no strategy. Just, I was afraid. So I said nothing. That's... Her voice cracked slightly. That's the same thing you did with the career. With all of it. When you're afraid of losing something, you go quiet and manage around me instead of with me. Yes, I'm not something to manage. I know. I keep knowing that, and then fear makes me forget. He was quiet. I'm sorry. That's inadequate, but it's true. She sat on her bed, in an apartment that had been violated, by people connected to a world he'd pulled her into. I need you to hear something, she said. Yes. I'm not Seoul. I won't disappear without saying it. If I leave, I'll tell you first. But Tae-hyung. Her voice steadied. You have to stop managing my exposure to my own life. Every time you do it, you make me smaller. And I won't become smaller. Not for anyone. Silence. Yes, he said finally. Not I know. Not I understand. Yes. Present tense. Active. Come over, she said. Not to fix it. Just, I don't want to be alone in this apartment tonight. I'm already outside, he said quietly. She laughed. Despite everything. Of course you are. She buzzed him in, heard the elevator, heard his knock, careful, waiting for permission, and thought, this is the thing. This is the distinction between what he was and what he's trying to become. He's outside the door, waiting, instead of already inside. She opened the door. He looked, different at her threshold, less contained. Something around his edges that she'd never seen before. Worry, actual worry, wearing through the composure. Are you hurt? No. Come in. He came in, looked around the apartment with the specific attention of someone cataloging wrongness. The drawer, she said, and the laptop. He checked the window locks, the door, the specific places someone would have come through. She watched him move through her space. This strange man, ancient and present simultaneously. Ji-hyun. Still checking the window. Stop. It's fine. They're gone. He stopped, turned. I want to make sure. I know you do. She crossed to him, stopped close. Stop moving for a minute. He went still. She looked at his face, at the worry he hadn't been able to hide tonight. You were scared, she said. Yes. For me. Yes. Simple. Undefended. She reached up, her hand at his jaw again, the way she had in the rain, but slower this time. Not brief. Staying. His eyes closed. That same thing as before, like something that cost him, like her touch reached somewhere the composure didn't protect. Look at me, she said quietly. He opened his eyes, brown and deep and tired. Genuinely tired in a way that had nothing to do with sleep.
I'm here, she said. I'm not going anywhere tonight. Ara. I'm not going anywhere, she repeated. And you're not going to manage me or arrange things or make decisions without me. But tonight you can just be here. With me. Without any of the rest of it. He looked at her hand on his face. Then, slowly, carefully, the way he did everything, he brought his hand up, covered hers, his fingers wrapping around hers against his jaw. Warm, real, both of them holding the same thing. I don't know how to just be somewhere, he said quietly. I've been operational for a very long time. I know. She stepped slightly closer. Try. He exhaled. Something releasing. His forehead dropped to hers. Gently. Like a question.
She didn't move away. They stood like that.
Foreheads together. His hand over hers at his jaw. The city outside doing ordinary things. You make everything harder, he said, soft, like it was just an observation. Harder than what? Than existing without caring whether it continues. She pulled back just enough to look at him. At the realest thing he'd ever said. She kissed him. Soft, brief, barely there. His hand tightened slightly over hers. When she pulled back, his eyes were still closed. He looked young for the first time. Underneath everything, briefly just young. And stunned. And real. That was, he started. Real, she said. That was real. He opened his eyes. Yes, he said. It was. She made tea. They sat on her couch, with the city outside and the invaded apartment around them, and they talked until 2 a.m. about nothing important. About a painting he'd seen in 1962 that he still thought about. About the worst meal she'd ever eaten. About small things. And was ordinary. And ordinary, she was learning, was the rarest thing he had access to. She was starting to understand that giving him ordinary was its own kind of intimacy. 3 months later, the restricted floor. Late evening. Ara added to the manuscript. The family record. 4 centuries of documentation. A new entry. Present day. She wrote carefully, precisely, the way she wrote everything. Then added 1 line that wasn't required by any archival standard. Just true. Connected by choice. Both parties. After full disclosure. With complete information. She heard him behind her. You added the last part, he said. The original just said connected by choice. Yes. I wanted it to be more accurate. He came to stand beside her. Read the full entry. Was quiet for a moment. Both parties, he said. Both parties. After full disclosure. After full eventual disclosure. She looked at him. We're being accurate, not generous. Something moved in his expression. That almost smile. The one that surprised him every time. He reached past her. Took the pen. Added 1 word after her entry. She read it. Witnessed. You can't witness your own file entry, she said. The archivist can note what was observed. That's not how archival notation works. I've been doing this for 400 years. I get to decide how it works occasionally. She laughed. He looked at her laughing. With that expression, she'd stopped trying to find the bottom of complete attention. Like she was worth being properly seen. Jihan. The painting, the one of the woman looking at the sky. Yes, I want to see it. I know. He closed the manuscript. I've been waiting for you to ask. You could have shown me. I wanted you to ask. He looked at her. There's a difference. She understood. He was learning. Waiting for her to come to things instead of arranging for things to come to her. Small, imperfect, real. She took his hand. He looked down at their joined hands with that expression, like being touched still surprised him. Like after 143 years he still hadn't built up tolerance for it. She didn't think he ever would. She didn't mind. Come on then, she said. They left the manuscript room together. The record closed behind them. 4 centuries of history. And 2 people, one ancient, one not. Figuring out what came next. Together. For the first time. By choice. He knew her name before she spoke it. Shaped her path before she walked it. Watched from a distance and called it care. And she found the documents. Wrote the submission. Forced his hand. Kissed him in her invaded apartment. Not because he'd forgiven everything, but because she was choosing anyway. With full information. Both parties. After full disclosure. That's not a fairy tale. That's something harder and realer. And what more? He isn't fixed. She isn't safe. They're just 2 people who decided that honest and imperfect was better than perfect and alone. He's been alone long enough. So has she. And so in October, breathes differently after dark, like it's been waiting for exactly this.